Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our latest HubSpot User Group event. As you can see, we are back in the brand new podcast suite today. And yes, we are Santa's HubSpot Little Helpers. And we are very busy working hard to make sure all you HubSpot users are fully utilizing the platform. We'll be starting the next couple of minutes, so please feel free to catch up on any emails, stick a mince pie in the microwave, and grab yourself a glass of milk whilst we allow the others to join. Ash, I must say, you actually really suit that outfit.
Thank you. I brought it especially. It's a coincidence that we happen to match today.
I know, we really should probably ring each other before work so we don't dress the same.
So embarrassing.
You are the first elf I've ever seen with dreadlocks as well.
I'd probably like to think the last as well.
Oh, what have we got? We've got 19 at the moment. Hey to everyone joining. We're getting in the Christmas vibe today, dressed as elves, me and Ash. We're just allowing a few more people to join us, and we'll begin our December hug.
Exciting. I can't wait to start unwrapping these gifts for everybody.
Yeah. It's your debut.
It is my debut, yeah, because you did last Christmas, correct me if I'm wrong?
I'm like a Christmas special.
Yeah, you are the little elf they unleash, especially
on like Doctor Who.
Festive occasions. Yeah, I have no with that. I tell you what.
They always bring out like a special episode.
True.
That's where I get. It's where the Daleks get rolled out. That's me.
HubSpot Dalek.
HubSpot Daleks. Have you done your Christmas shopping? Has everyone else done the Christmas shopping yet?
I've not even commenced, I won't lie.
Yeah, I'm doing mine on Friday. I haven't bought a single present. Okay.
I have the constant sound of jingling in my
Lizzie is loving the elf outfits. Thanks, Lizzie.
Thank you.
Just finished my Christmas shopping last night while you're ahead of me.
How many are you expecting to buy for?
I don't know yet.
That's concerning.
Cost of living. I think that's a good number now. So we'll get into things. So again, thank you for attending the Liverpool HubSpot User Group. Great to see some familiar faces and some new faces joining us on these events. We hope you get a lot out of today's session. Today, we'll be doing some intros to anyone joining us about myself and Ash, our topic today, and our agency. We will then be moving into the core topic, which is around 8 new HubSpot features to unwrap and how to embed them into your strategy. And at the end, as ever, we'll be doing a Q&A, but please pop any questions you have in the chat as we go through today's session. Before I intro myself and Ash, we want to also thank Meg, our marketing manager, who is putting on this event as ever today. She does a wonderful job in doing so. And look out for any assets and learnings in the chat, which Meg will be filtering into the audience today. Thanks, Meg. I also just want to give out a shout out to Dan. He is our in-house videographer who puts together all this that you can see today. So thanks, Dan, as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so on to our host. For those that I've not met yet, I'm Johnny, Business Development Manager and fellow elf here at Fuelius. We are an elite HubSpot agency, and my role is to essentially support businesses who are using HubSpot to achieve their medium and long-term goals in using the platform. And I also support businesses who are evaluating HubSpot in terms of scoping out the right subscription and implementation plans if they are to take out the platform. I am joined by debut fellow elf today.
Indeed.
And I like to call you the unicorn because you're a whiz kid with HubSpot.
Thank you.
I'll hand it over to you, Ash, to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so for anyone who I've not met yet, my name's Ashley. I'm a lead technical digital strategist at Fuelius. Fundamentally, my job is working with a variety of organizations based on size and sector to help them get the most out of HubSpot. So that's dealing with the implementation, configuration, and education of all things HubSpot.
Absolute unicorn.
Thank you. Stop it.
If you've missed a hug before and you want to catch up, you can do so at any time by going to our video hub. We also have a YouTube channel with some great tricks and tips on how you can leverage HubSpot to its fullest potential. So I'd strongly recommend subscribing to our YouTube channel or taking a look. And as we always do, we want to give you something back to the audience today alongside what we are going to talk about. There is an opportunity for one of you to win a £20 Amazon gift card. All you need to do is put in the chat panel and tell us what you want our next hug topic to be. The best answer will win not only the gift card, but will also get their topic chosen for the session in the future. Now, take some time to think about this. We will revisit it again at the end of the session. I can already see that someone put into the chat panel, I think it's Arnold. Will there be a giveaway today? And there is your answer, Arnold. There is your giveaway.
So get submitting those suggestions, yeah, because we're all ears and we can't wait to hear what people want to recommend.
You can't suggest anything, though.
No?
No.
Okay.
No colleagues.
No.
No employees.
It doesn't stipulate. There's no asterisks in the
I should have put something in there.
Okay.
Now, before we get on today's topic with 8 new features, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of everything that has been happening with HubSpot platform throughout 2022. HubSpot this year announced that it has been positioned by the Gartner as a leader in the Magic Quadrant for its B2B marketing automation platforms for the second consecutive year for its offering Marketing Hub. This evaluation is based on specific criteria that analyze the company's overall completeness of vision and ability to execute.
Quite big in my opinion. I mean, Gartner is obviously quite a trusted name out in the marketplace, and the fact that they've scored this twice now for 2 consecutive years just kind of bolsters their position in the market, really.
Yeah. And yeah, for the second time, it's specifically for the Marketing Hub as well.
Correct, yeah.
I imagine we'll probably see the other hubs eventually get to that point.
Yes, the other ones I know, like Service Hub, for example, is actually on the Gartner Magic Quadrant, but they haven't necessarily been positioned as the leaders in this sense. But to win this twice in a row for the Marketing Hub, again, just kind of establishes their position.
Yeah. Also, HubSpot announced in 2022 that the app marketplace is now home to more than 1,000 integrations that span user cases in marketing, sales, service, and more. The news comes less than 2 years after the marketplace surpassed 500 apps, reflecting HubSpot's commitment to building an ecosystem that serves the needs of customers and partners alike. We see this all the time, don't we, with prospects and clients that we speak to, and the fact that they're using different systems and it's already there. Native.
Day in, day out, 1,000 applications. That's like doubled in less than 2 years.
Can you big on it?
Can you even name 10?
Please don't.
Okay, move on.
We're going to move on swiftly on that note. At HubSpot's annual event Inbound, they released new features and updates to help businesses create deeper, more meaningful connections with their customers. The reason for this is because they recognize the fundamental shifts in buyer behavior have made it increasingly challenging for organizations to create this. In fact, research shows from the Gartner as well, when considering or purchase, B2B buyers spend only 17% of that time actually meeting with potential suppliers. A major driver for this disconnection is the proliferation of new software and technology, making it hard for companies to connect with their data and systems, as well as each other. HubSpot's latest releases are a response to this current crisis of disconnection. Have you seen that with everything you've been working on?
Yeah, a regular occasion again. Just I think because of the vast quantity of MarTech solutions out in the marketplace now, and obviously disparate systems, it becomes more of a case for companies to be considering that data model structure, how their actual entities obviously relate to the different applications, and the importance obviously of having that communication, those systems communicate with one another.
Yeah, I know, like the previous slide, that they've doubled their sort of native integration, but we still see time and time again where there maybe isn't that integration with HubSpot, but we as a partner sort of build that because HubSpot has that open API. We can essentially build that connection for them.
Correct. And there's other CRMs in the marketplace that are striving more towards this position, because you're never going to create a solution that's fit for all businesses, in the sense of we deal with property sector quite often. There may be some niche applications in the marketplace. The idea is to have a CRM that can connect with that and make it more accessible. So, they're not trying to be a solution for everything in the marketplace. They're just trying to strive in regards to providing that service affiliated area of your business
and connect everything together. And with that, they released this slogan: powerful alone, better together. Customers with marketing, sales, service, and CMS hubs see 51% greater increase in deals closed won than customers with fewer hubs. HubSpot's CRM platform can connect every part of your business. Their approach to product development takes the critical elements of customer experience management, content, messaging, automation, data, and reporting, and brings them into a single platform that's built to grow with your company. Each HubSpot product is powerful on its own, but the real magic happens when you see them together.
People have said the same thing about us, you know that.
Well, I always think you're like, I call you unicorn. I don't know about myself, apart from my magical outfit right now.
Our magical outfits.
Our magical outfits, yeah. And with that, research has shown that those using the Sales Hub and Marketing Hub increased their deal closed rate by 74%. Those with the Sales Hub and Service Hub increased deals closed for customers by 124%. And those with the Marketing Hub and the CMS Hub saw a growth of 183% in inbound leads, which is quite incredible, isn't it?
It's good. That's massive. Like,
imagine 183% increase.
You would need to multiply the numbers of you as a result.
Yeah, as a salesperson, I'd be very happy to see that. Now, I'm sure you've had enough of me speaking. I'm now going to hand over to Mr. Debut, Mr. Unicorn, fellow elf, Ash Regan.
Thank you very much, Johnny. I appreciate the introduction. So without further ado, we're going to start going into the process and actually how you can start opting in some of these betas we're about to disclose to you as part of this session. So the first point of call is just to make sure everyone's aware on some of the actual betas we're going to go through, that you're on, can go through the steps, obviously, to get yourself enrolled. So what we recommend is within the HubSpot portal itself, you'll notice in your company logo on the top right-hand side, you can easily navigate to product updates. Within that product updates page, HubSpot have actually consolidated all of their betas, all of their due to go live features, and you can actually start opting yourself into some of those betas right here and right now. So our recommendation obviously is based on some of the ones we're about to disclose as part of this hug. Go off and investigate and get yourself opted into the ones that are of interest.
Brilliant. Have you used them all betas?
I have, yeah. They're constantly, so effectively the relationship, some of the advantages that some of our clients have found having a relationship with partners such as ourselves is that we can give guidance to that because HubSpot are releasing these in a vast quantity. I mean, it does make sure that people like ourselves are kept on our toes to ensure that obviously we're at the cutting edge in regards to the functionality available within HubSpot.
Yeah. Makes your job harder, but it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because some of these I know you're actually quite excited about. And yeah, looking forward to capturing everyone's feedback in regards to what ones are of most interest to them.
Brilliant. Okay.
Let's get to it. So number one, HubSpot cookie scanning.
Cookie scanning.
You like a good
Makes
cookie.
me hungry.
You do like a good cookie. So why this is important is because for the first time now, HubSpot enables us to detect and categorize all cookies on your website, internal and external. So what this means now is you can start to centrally manage your visitor consent solely within HubSpot. So with there being more governance around obviously how you opt people into actually cookies, you can actually be more careful in regards to capturing those opt-ins by having HubSpot manage that centrally for you. So whereby when people would visit your website, you may get them to automatically enroll or actually enable certain cookies. What this now enables you to do is actually prevent them from opting into cookies without accepting your HubSpot one first. So this means you can remain compliant. This ensures that businesses act lawful in how they actually how they capture the consent around cookies, because it doesn't automatically opt you into them without capturing that HubSpot consent first.
Yeah. That's why obviously it's important with GDPR and everything like that. It's one of the most important things that marketers always talk about. And HubSpot's always been a great platform. I've realized from my short time, well, about 14 months using it, that is key.
Correct. And then it's just another way for you to ensure that your business remains compliant and protecting yourselves against things like GDPR.
Brilliant. Should we move on to the next one to Unwrap?
On to the next.
Let's go.
Flexible associations are now supported in custom report builder. You know what flexible associations are, right?
Is this where you associate labels to deals?
Correct.
And other areas maybe, but I'm speaking from a salesperson.
Yeah. Deals. That's what it is with you.
Deals.
That is correct. So association labels enable us to stipulate what the relationship is across objects when there's more than one relationship. So what I mean by that is if you have multiple contacts associated to a company, with the use of association labels, you can stipulate the specific relationship that contact has to that object. So one common example we encounter is an advisor, for example. Within the property sector, you may have a mortgage advisor, which is linked to a deal. You can stipulate the relationship that specific contact has to that deal, which in this instance is the mortgage advisor. And now with this new feature, which is available in public beta, you can actually customize your custom report builder, so the data within the report builder, specifically to that object relationship. So you may say within my data set, I only want to include contacts that have the advisor label.
Okay.
Where historically you'd have to do numerous workarounds through the use of custom properties and workflows to manage that within the actual report builder. Now with this new feature, you can eradicate all of those workflows and workarounds, and you can actually just customize your data sets to just include those labels.
Do you think with that, people like HubSpot has recognized that people have been doing these workarounds and they thought, let's just put it in there?
100%.
Yeah.
And I think some of these features we're about to go through today, people will see immediate value because it's been a common requirement for organizations. and you've had to do workarounds to ultimately achieve the same goal. Now, with a lot of these betas we're about to disclose, you can just apply these new features and immediately start leveraging their abilities.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So it's worth highlighting that this one is only available to professional and enterprise plans, just so that you're aware.
Brilliant.
On to the next, my friends.
On to the next. Was this the third?
This is the third.
The third. Let's go. We did want to unwrap these, didn't we?
We did try to.
But I won't mention it, Meg. Don't worry. On to the third.
We can limit editing access to select pipeline stages. So HubSpot is aware that they're moving more towards the enterprise space now, and there has been some limitations around the governance side of things. This is a great way now that super admins can actually start restricting editing rights on the deal stages on the pipeline. So what this means is one of the common use cases we've started to enable for our clients with this feature is if you want an approval step in your deal pipeline, you can have it that only individuals with select editing access can move that deal to that stage. So it's them effectively saying, we'll move the deal to this stage, which is our acceptance, our approval. So it's a means of kind of having some governance. So this enables you to restrict the stages themselves to users against the deal or to early super admins. So it does give you some flexibility in who has that governance, the actual control to edit deals at that stage.
That could be good from like a management point of view, couldn't it?
100%.
To make sure everything's been done before, let's say, close one could happen, or you've got all the information you need from a contracting point of view.
Exactly that. And this is another common use case for us that we've encountered is that people may want to lock the close one and close lost deal stages so that when a deal is moved to close one, they can't restore or edit that deal as a result. So the advantage there is, again, you can have that governance or approval step if anyone wants to move that or make those alterations, because you know the data stored in that record can't be manipulated.
And it stops badmin.
A badmin.
Which I'm terrible for, but now I can't be.
Correct. These are some, I think you're a great use case for some of these I'm about to go through, to be perfectly honest.
I don't think that's a compliment. But we'll move on. Number four.
Number four. So we can surface pipeline stage properties when creating a record. Now, admittedly, I've always perceived this as a bit of a flaw on HubSpot's part in the sense that you can align certain properties to be displayed and made mandatory on specific deal stages. So the idea is, if a deal gets to a point where it's quote approved, then we should know the amount, the close date, and other associated properties. You can align them to the deal stages so that you prompt the users to capture that information at that deal stage. Now, obviously, this helps the users themselves with day-to-day administration, ensuring they're capturing the relevant information. But in turn, this actually enables data enrichment because you're capturing the right information at the right stages in the pipeline. Now, if users were to create a deal afresh, so create a brand new deal, and they moved it to that stage in the pipeline at the time of creation, it wouldn't then prompt the users to capture that information that's made mandatory at that deal stage. So it was kind of a bit of a flaw within HubSpot because it's not a way of ensuring that information is always captured, regardless of the avenue of it being created. With this new feature now, if someone was to create a deal and let's say created that deal at the point that it's finalized quote, it will then prompt them for that information at the point of creation on the mandatory information that's required.
Okay.
So if the individual, it's not best practice to create a deal and move it straight to finalized quote. We are aware of this. So it's a poor example. And again, you are a use case for this.
Stop saying that.
So it goes back to the fact of badmin. You're able to rectify this irrespective of how they go about creating that deal. So if they create it at the first stage, move it to that point in the pipeline, then they're prompted. Or if they create a brand new deal at that stage, they're then still prompted to capture that information.
Wow. It's just really improving my admin. That's all I can hear. Which I'm sure everyone's going to be pleased about anyway.
You should get less emails chasing you for such things now then.
Brilliant. It's helpful then.
Number 5.
I've lost count.
Don't
commit, just go with it.
You can now add line items when creating deals and workflows. So this proves very popular based on our experience to date for organizations that automate a lot of their creation of deals for things like renewals or upsell, cross-sell opportunities. You can now actually start to associate line items against those deals when they're created automatically through workflows. So what this means is if a deal comes from a certain service stream and it will have certain line items associated if it's around a renewal, you can add those line items automatically against a renewal ready for the actual sales individual to handle that opportunity. So it's just another way of streamlining the day-to-day activity, ensuring that the relevant information is aligned to the deal, so the line items are correct, and just kind of automating that process fully for them.
Yeah, line items a good thing. You can also like add stuff like margin in there as well. Just I know this might not be in the update, but I see a lot of people that I speak to when we do portal audits, for example, they don't know that feature's even there and available to them.
Yeah, so a lot of the sales automation is centered around minimizing that day-to-day activity for the users, ensuring you are capturing the correct, obviously, information at the relevant points. But this is just another manual task that you can remove from the users so they can spend more time at the task at hand, which is generating sales.
Yeah. Cool. We don't know what number we're on.
And it's worth highlighting that this feature is available to everyone. So if that is something of an interest, you can just go out and start leveraging this now because this feature is live.
So on the starter, pro, enterprise.
Exactly. Any package, irrespective.
Free?
Yeah, as long as you've got, well, if you've got access to automation.
Okay, brilliant.
Perfect. So this next one, again, is going more into that governance space, available for public beta. But this one is, you can now access your audit logs of user security actions within the application itself. So historically, a lot of our large-scale enterprise organizations that need to look at this regularly for governance, for example, or when you've got colleagues leave, for example, you've been able to do this historically by downloading an Excel file, and then you have to manually scrutinize that file with an Excel. Whereas with this in-app function now, you can actually just view the audit log natively within HubSpot. So you'll get real-time updates and dashboards to indicate to you of certain activities that take place. So this could be centered around SSO activity. So you're aware of when people have failed logins, if people have changed their settings around SSO. Anyone that's utilizing email tracking and logging, you can start to understand any changes made against their settings there. Performing of a GDPR contract. So if a contact is deleted within your portal, you'll have a full audit log of those activities taking place. So again, from a governance perspective, it kind of simplifies the management of those responsibilities. So super admins can now natively manage all that within HubSpot and have that full real-time information visible to them.
Yeah, it's great for like insurance, isn't it? In terms of.
Yeah, I know certain organizations go through ISO accreditation or certifications, for example. It's really around when you need to maintain a high level of security and standards. And a lot of that could be centered around accreditations or certifications. So this is just another way of helping organizations remain compliant.
Yeah, brilliant. Next one, custom goals.
I really enjoy this one, and I've seen a lot of our clients be delighted by this feature because we are aware that HubSpot has some limitations historically around creating goals. That can typically, within a sales area, can only be centered around activities and revenue. And then from a service side of things, that's just centered around, again, activities. This now enables you to actually create your own custom goals specific for your business. So it enables you to set and track the performance of the metrics of your choice. Now, there are some limitations just to ensure that everyone is aware. So there's a limit. You can only create 50 custom goals at the moment, but I mean, 50 is quite vast. I think it's fair to say.
Sounds a lot.
It is quite a lot. And currently, they don't support goals reporting, and custom goals are not forecastable. So you can't actually forecast against custom goals at the moment. But if you understand how individuals within the team are performing against your own revenue targets, as an example, or certain outcomes achieved against activities. So companies that are handling things like different meeting and call outcomes, as well as certain meeting and call types, you can now set custom goals against those specific types. So instead of just saying you've got a target of 100 calls per month, you can say you've got a target of 100 calls that are of a pre-sales nature, as an example. So it enables you that extra granular control around how you want to define these custom goals.
Yeah, I guess with a lot of sales teams, but I've worked in other companies in sales as well, and a lot of cold calling as well, where often it goes to a voicemail, or it goes to, or it's
considered a success, right?
It's considered one call, because that's all you can report on. But with this, you can actually get more granular with that.
Definitely.
And you can even not just connected calls, but it has to be a meaningful call as well.
Correct.
With the outcome to it.
Exactly.
You can start reporting on that customization now.
Exactly, yeah. So you can start setting those targets specifically around how many demos, let's say, certain organizations should conduct over a certain period. So it enables you that more customization. So not just out of the box where you have, let's say, the activity and the revenue target goals that you can create, but you can make them more specific, not only to your sector, but for your business.
I'm just looking at you now and trying to be really serious. You're dressed as an elf. It's quite hard. Right, on to the next one.
Perfect. Now this is the last of the eight.
Biggie.
This is the biggie.
This is the biggie.
This is surely the one that gets you most excited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
because I know what WhatsApp is.
we're on to a good start. So, a lot of people probably have already admittedly seen this within their portals. We're getting a lot of questions around the functionality at the moment and what some of the limitations are. But I know this is one that has been discussed a lot, and off the back of inbound, a lot of clients of ours have been asking around this. So WhatsApp, as you're aware, everyone's familiar with WhatsApp. I think that's fair to say. Well, you can now connect WhatsApp business accounts as a channel within your conversations inbox within HubSpot. So what this means is, as part of your conversations inbox, where you can capture conversations around channels like team emails, forms, live chat functionality, Facebook Messenger, you can now also include WhatsApp Business Messenger. So that means if a contact communicates via any of those channels, their conversation will be handled in an omni-channel thread, which means, as a hypothetical, someone drops an email at the sales address and you pick that up. The contact then goes to live chat to start sending a message. In a single thread, in a single conversation, you'll have the historical conversation from email as well as the live chat. And then if they use WhatsApp as well, all in one conversation.
I mean, I don't know if this is part of it, but like if a salesperson, I've seen this happen a lot more. If a salesperson talks to a prospect, and quite often the time the prospect's on the go and it's through WhatsApp. Is there potential there to utilize this for that?
Yeah. So you can utilize it as part of, so it doesn't have to be necessarily associated to the channel. You can just have it as a means of picking up those conversations via that inbox. So it's treated similarly like an email inbox. It's just as an inquiry comes in, a user can pick that up and then start handling that conversation in real time, like you would with live chat. With this one, you can leverage approved WhatsApp templates. And also, which has delighted a lot of our clients, templates can be sent from workflows to start conversations with contacts. So it could be another additional channel for your multi-channel marketing or sales activities. So as part of your sales outreach efforts, if you're getting no success, let's say with emails, you could then automate the process of starting that conversation via your WhatsApp business account.
That's really neat that you can also template a WhatsApp message.
Yeah, so approved messages on WhatsApp templates you can then include. So that obviously ensures you'll maintain the same level of quality for your communications. It simplifies the actual activity itself because a salesperson could just roll out that template. So yeah, definitely some compelling cases around that. And the fact that you get all of this functionality immediately for the first release, I think is quite impressive.
Yeah, I hope they sort of build on this and just make it even
100%.
bigger. I when it first came out, I saw loads of stuff like Carl Jepsen blowing up on LinkedIn. Everyone was writing a post about it. I do think that this is a great area for a lot of businesses in a lot of different sectors to utilize. And I really hope they sort of drill down on it even more and make it a bigger thing, because everyone uses WhatsApp. Everyone's got a family WhatsApp group. Everyone uses it. So it only makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And we find this more popular in the B2C space, especially because a lot of the customers themselves like the communication, let's say either by SMS or by WhatsApp. So it adds that more personal touch, because email is still a great avenue of communication, but it doesn't provide probably as much of that real-time notification functionality that WhatsApp or SMS does.
Yeah, certainly an exciting one. Let's move on. There is another one.
We're on to the bonus. I didn't want to just leave it on the 8.
Bonus updates.
So we are going to whiz through these ones. There is about 3.5.
3.5
of these updates.
How many do with a half an update?
So 2 of them are the same beta, but they offer 2 different functionalities.
Oh, okay.
So it's technically 1, but I'll treat it as half.
Okay.
3.5.
We'll let you off.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just happy there's bonus.
Still gonna whiz through these. They're always for you, especially for you.
For me, I'm the user case. Let's go. Bonus content.
Trusted logging. Limited login for trusted IPs. Obviously, you know what this means.
No.
Okay. So. What this means is now you can start restricting access to your portals specific to locations, IP locations.
Oh, yeah.
So again, more in that governance space, more adding that additional layer of protection, security for your organization. You can now limit access to your portals to specific IP locations, which means if your staff solely work from an office, a single office or multiple offices, if you provide the IP location against those offices, those devices can only log into the portal associated to that IP address. So if then a user tries to log in from home, as an example, it will prohibit them access to the portal as a result.
Okay. And also, it's probably built in sort of employee contracts somewhere that if people work from home, they maybe can't go to a cafe because it's not secure Wi-Fi, it's not promised.
Correct.
So I guess that is a safety blanket for businesses to be able to do that.
Perfect. You see, you do know.
I do understand.
You do know.
I understand because of you.
Oh, you're a gent.
My old friend.
Hopefully everyone is benefiting from the same.
Got a bromance going on here.
Next one. Reporting tool to visualize customer journey. This is amazing. This is honestly, personally, probably one of my favorites. So I've managed to delight a lot of clients with this one. So what you can do now is create your own bespoke customer journey reports, which will actually show you not only the progression, so the velocity along that journey, but also the time spent between stages. So example, if we say that in the custom journey report itself, we say that the first touch point is then visiting your website, we can then make up a blend of those different activities, so those touch points from sales and marketing. So you could say the journey is they hit your website, they interact with the form, they submit your form, they then get a sales email, and then they go on to opportunity. So you can include life cycle stages. HubSpot will then tell you, and you can apply filters like on certain date ranges. You can apply certain filters like business units, certain industries, for example. The idea is that it will show you what the velocity is. So how many people hit that website, and then all the way through to opportunity, what the progression was along that journey. And then you can understand what the conversion times are between that. So how long people spent between interacting with the form and then receiving a sales email. You can understand what the time steps are between that.
And then you can be proactive with your sort of marketing and sales approaches and using 100%. That sort of data.
So this is what we do often as a strategic partner for our clients, is that once we've got the processes in place, we start capturing the analytics and then have that feed into their processes. This one especially is enabling us to better empower their actual funnels, so their sales funnel, for example, as well as their marketing strategies, because we can start to understand not only the actual conversion rates, but also the lead times between those stages. I definitely recommend this as one.
That is a really good one.
People go off and start tinkering with, because admittedly, this is only available to Marketing Hub Enterprise customers. So it's just worth flagging that now.
Enterprise.
It is Marketing Enterprise. But honestly, the different touch points, this can be centered again around your life cycle stages. So where they are in that buyer's journey, but equally what marketing and some sales activities have taken place. So you can customize those journeys specific for your business in various different iterations. So this is our partner channel versus our direct business, for example.
It's so good, isn't it? It's easy to use as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Drag and drop.
I mean, because that sounds a bit like, it sounds like a heavy job, but with the platform,
totally.
Always make it user-friendly.
And the whole purpose there is with the drag and drop builder, similar to that of the custom report builder, you can start creating these visual journeys yourselves.
Amazing. Right. Yeah, so anyone interested in that, just contact us and we can discuss sort of the enterprise. If you're on the pro and just not a feature that's available to you.
Yes, I would love to demonstrate this one.
At least demonstrate it to them, because I think people are going to take a lot of value from that.
100%. And this blows my mind every time. So compared to the historical funnel ones that you could get, that this one has so much more control. So much more control.
Brilliant. So more bonus content.
So this one we're doubling up. So this is a 2-for-1.
Okay.
So now
I like 2-for-1.
A lot of people would have seen this one already. So you can manage and visualize your data model within HubSpot. So the data model obviously helps organizations get up to speed with the essential HubSpot CRM components. So you can start to understand the concepts and the terminology of HubSpot all in one place. So it kind of shows you a simplified ERD diagram, so you can understand what the relationships are across the objects, the different entities. So that way you can quickly set up your data model, and you can start ensuring that there's solid foundations around the quality of your data itself. So for scaling businesses, when you start introducing things like custom objects, especially if you're integrating across multiple systems, such as a separate CRM, this data model definitely helps to start understanding what that relationship is across the different objects within your CRM.
So going back, actually map it out for you?
Correct. So one example is we've got a custom object, let's say development and plots, common occurrence for our property sector. You can actually see what the relationship is from the plots to deals to contacts to companies. So you can start to understand what that relationship looks like across those different objects. Equally, you can understand the number of properties, what the association labels are. So there's a lot more to it. But the idea is it visualizes what that data relationship, that data model looks like for you now.
And how is that visualized? Like a spider? Is like a diagram? Like what is it?
Yeah, so it's a diagram. So it's showing you the entities, and it's got the lines connecting, and then it shows additional information by clicking into the objects.
Like an architecture diagram.
Yeah, ERD, kind of a simplified ERD. So
I didn't realize you do that inside of HubSpot.
Now you do.
News to me, I'm learning.
So the next one to go with this one, because technically it's one of the same beta, but there's some additional functionality if you're an enterprise customer. And I know this one is huge in my opinion. You can now enhance your custom, well, it's got an enhanced custom object builder. So no longer do you need to go down the route of APIs. No longer do you need to use custom code to create your custom objects. This can all now be natively done within HubSpot. So within HubSpot, you can not only create the actual custom object itself and delete the custom object natively within HubSpot. That's a big thing. You've always used to have to use API calls historically.
Oh, your hat fell off. Your hat fell
That's
off.
a sackable offense as far as
Yeah.
sees it. Where was I?
You were thrown.
I was. So you're able to not only create them but delete them, but you can also manage the relationships across the different custom objects now. So all of that can be done natively within HubSpot. And again, I can't stress this enough. If you never would have done, but if you've used the custom object API builder, there are some nuances around using the schema if you're not someone familiar with JSON language.
Getting technical for me now.
Whereas now you can bypass all of that and you can just do it natively within HubSpot. So again, huge in my opinion.
Brilliant. So how does that just explain for me, how is it different from the custom objects that we already have already?
Yeah, so it doesn't change it in a sense. It's just the process you undertake to create that. So historically for ourselves, it would have taken, let's say, the full concept, create, and QC component. You could spend a couple of hours on the custom object creation itself. Now that can be pretty much streamlined and consolidated into a matter of an hour or two, because the idea is you can do that, as mentioned, just by clicking a button within HubSpot, specifying the details of the properties and what the object is, and then HubSpot does the rest for you. Okay. You used to have to use independent API calls to actually delete the actual custom objects as well. So again, there's a bit of testing and nuance behind that. But now you can just, again, a couple of clicks of a button, just delete your custom object.
So it's more efficient.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it reduces the time spent quite significantly, and it simplifies the process as a result.
Yeah.
So again,
I guess it's on enterprise though, because
correct.
It's custom objects. I know it's an enterprise sort of feature. So
this one links back to the other beta, so they're available both in the same one. It's just if you're an enterprise customer, you also get access to the native custom object builder now in HubSpot.
Cool, brilliant. Thanks, Ash. For those that don't know, we at Fuelius offer a free, no obligation portal audit for all HubSpot users. Now, this report is exclusive to your specific businesses and includes actionable insights and recommendations, features or approaches you might be missing inside of HubSpot, a roadmap of quick wins to get the most out of HubSpot, and an overview call with one of our HubSpot experts. I would highly recommend this free offering to anyone looking to kickstart 2023 on the right foot with your HubSpot strategy. We do a lot of these, don't we?
We get a lot of submissions against us.
And there are always people that are paying for features that they could be using, but they just don't know how to use, didn't know it was there.
100%. It's such a common occurrence. And I think just small things as well, which surprises me on how companies could be using, let's say, the automation quite heavily, but they're not aware of how to set a goal or something minute like this. And that's where we can obviously provide value to, customers free of charge, obviously just through the actual no obligation portal audit. And they can start to understand how they potentially can maximize their ROI and better improve their performance within HubSpot.
Yeah, just a quick one. If you are interested in this, Meg's actually just thrown a link into the chat now. So feel free to just click that link and you can request it that way. But just back on the subject, also, I see a lot of the time that people are paying for a feature outside of HubSpot, like for example, Calendly.
Common occurrence.
And they have meeting links there available to them. So they're paying for the same feature 100%. In two different systems.
Common occurrence again. And I think that's where we can provide value in, not only obviously within HubSpot, and again, just eradicating that need for external applications and the costs associated for that. So the link is in there. If you want to see some reviews, I've put that we have some reviews on screen now. People have gone through that process. These slides will be shared as well, and the link is in there. But yeah, the link is also in the chat for you guys now. So yeah, I would highly recommend to do that. It's a free offering, no obligation. Why not? Any questions? This is on to the Q&A panel now, whether it's around this specific topic that we've covered today or anything else HubSpot related. Now is your chance to ask the experts. It says experts, but experts? Challenges. Well, I mean, you're the looks. I think that's fair to say.
Really?
I can
really? You say this all the time, but I don't see it. Yeah, so any questions, please pop them into the chat panel now and we'll answer them for you.
Yeah, please do. Challenge Johnny. I want to get the most technical question we can for Johnny.
100%, guys. Has there been any questions that I can see? Can you see the chat panel at all?
I'm not allowed.
You're not allowed. The queue. There's a tab. Okay, any example recommendations for Ash on telephony platforms we have successfully integrated with HubSpot?
Yes, there's a few in the marketplace. We really do obviously recommend that you spend sufficient time to ensure that you're aware of your requirements. So that's probably centered around, do you need things like click to dial functionality? How do you want the activity reported or shown within HubSpot? So do you need things like call outcomes, call tagging, for example? One we encounter quite often, and I know is quite favorable within HubSpot, is air call as an example. But we definitely recommend spend sufficient time on understanding what your requirements are and ensuring that the solution obviously meets those requirements. I mentioned air call because it is one of the most popular in the market space itself, and can natively integrate with HubSpot. So out of the box, you're able to leverage some of the functionality like click to dial, catching that activity within HubSpot. But if you need any further consultancy around that in regards to your specific use case for the application, do please reach out to us, because we'd love to obviously look at that in further detail. But there is some additional ones I can mention, but I know Aircall is probably one of the leading providers out in that space.
Yeah, that's a company always hit coming up that people use, and we often have conversations around that, don't we?
Because of the native functionality and typically alone.
Yeah, brilliant. Another question here, is there a way to recommend new features, or did you cover that?
A way to recommend.
Yeah, so if you have an idea about a feature to HubSpot, is there a way to then recommend it?
Apologies, I am with you now. 100%. Great question. I'm really glad someone chipped in with this one. So HubSpot does have a community space, which is just accessible by going to www.community.hubspot.com. The reason I highlight this is because, as far as my experience with other vendors historically, HubSpot does pride itself in regards to capturing that community spirit. And a lot of that is centered around capturing suggestions from their users. So you may have seen that you can post suggestions within their forum, and then they can get upvoted within the ideas section of the forum. And then HubSpot genuinely do pay attention towards this and will prioritize heavily voted requests as part of their public roadmap. So a lot of these features that I've gone through today that are available live or through public beta have come from some of the users in that community channel. And it's just based on what features get requested the most tends to get priority.
Yeah.
Additionally, on that section of the website, on the community HubSpot, there is a section dedicated around what ones have just gone live. So you can see which ones are due to go live and what the roadmap looks like. But when you actually post a request on the idea section, HubSpot will come back and then post when it goes live with a beta or what their roadmap looks like for that feature. So the advantage with that is if you do request a specific requirement within HubSpot and they release functionality for that, they will post that in your posts. So then you get a real-time notification when that feature becomes available.
Oh, brilliant. It's quite reactive as well.
100%. And especially off of inbound today, HubSpot is huge on the whole community thing.
Yeah.
So they're just going to spend more kind of focus on that section of their business.
Yeah, brilliant. Another one from Lisa on WhatsApp integration. If we sent a quote contract in our case from HubSpot, could this also send a WA notification? Putting you on the spot there.
Yes, depending on the use case, I think. So if I follow correctly, it can send notifications. I would be led to believe this can be internal and external. I think I made an Elisa for this, so I'm tempted to come back directly. Great question. I think I finally have been challenged. As far as my understanding at this stage would be, in principle, yes, but I would just probably need to better understand how that communication takes place. But via the workflows themselves, you can leverage templates to be sent and start conversations to contacts. So with that in mind, internal, external, I'll be inclined to say yes. But I will come back to you directly if we can, Lisa, obviously with more accuracy surrounding that.
Brilliant. I like it when you're tested, bro.
Finally, I
like it when you're tested. Well done, Lisa. Last question, I think. What is your favorite update of the year?
Great question. Again, me personally, I think that the visualizing of the customer journey, because of the flexibility surrounding that and the fact that you can create your own custom journeys. So compared to the funnel, which historically is like, right, show us how the velocity looks like on our funnel, which is just these stages. So you can do it very singular in regards to, right, what's the progression of our funnel? What's the progression of our life cycle stages? This new reporting functionality, the custom journey builder, enables you now to actually create, as the name implies, your custom journey. So it's not just saying this has to apply for all business as a standard kind of funnel report. You can now do it. Well, actually, our custom journey we don't use things like, let's say, sales activities, for example. We solely base it on inbound, and then let's say we have client excellence that actually handles that for us. You can now customize those journeys specifically for your business and your use case. So again, I can't illustrate that enough. And it's the one that I've probably noticed the most satisfaction with the clients I'm onboarding. And it does tend to delight them, as I mentioned, quite easily.
Yeah.
So just seeing their reactions when you have that functionality. Attribution reporting is quite key for a lot of, obviously, organizations, understanding the performance against certain lead sources. The fact that, again, you can use reports like this to actually understand the progression against those lead sources, how many actually went on to become customer. You can have full transparency and visibility of that now.
That's brilliant. You can tell like you're so passionate about that one. Like, you were saying when the slide came up before, you were like, "That is the one."
Because WhatsApp, WhatsApp is amazing, and the fact you can do that functionality now. I think the fact that there's been other players in that market that you can natively integrate with HubSpot, it's not so much of a delight. The fact you can do it natively is compelling because you can eradicate those costs with third-party applications. You get better reporting, obviously being natively in HubSpot. But this one, the fact that no other provider that I'm aware of can provide you that functionality to that degree of detail. It's just seeing the customers' reactions is the reason why. Is it fair to say yours is WhatsApp then?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I just know like a lot of companies that could utilize that quite well. A lot of sales teams.
I think it's fair to say that the use case for that one is probably more obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I just recognize when I'm speaking with salespeople, obviously about Sales Hub and stuff like that, I often get talking about their process and how they do deals and stuff like that. And a lot of them are common occurrences coming up that WhatsApp is involved. And also, another person said to me, once you have a prospect on WhatsApp, the likelihood of that to go into close one is actually quite high because it's a more personal approach within the sales process.
Agreed. And it's kind of just adding that additional channel. So, sales are no longer just reliant on emails, as we're aware, and just phone calls. There's obviously Sales Navigator and, LinkedIn, for example. This is just another strand of communication. So it's just another way of, an extra string to your bow.
Could you report on that? Could you say, we know that if there's WhatsApp involved, it often close one.
Yes. So you could start to understand the conversion rate centered around having that as an interaction.
Yeah.
So you could say, let's look at our customers for the last 6 months. What was the close rate with those that had WhatsApp integration engagement versus those that didn't? And you can maybe start to understand whether there is an improvement on either the time cadence, so it actually streamlines the conversations, as well as, maybe the ROI. Does that mean that we can automate that process through workflows so that the sales team themselves are spending less time doing that process? So there are potentially some ROI elements to that too.
That's really cool. That even makes it more my favorite feature that you mentioned because of that. I didn't even know that's possible. That's great. I did say last question, but one more question.
Please.
With the new custom goals, could that be based on effective call being 2+ minutes, for example, or is it based on activity outcomes?
Great question. There are some dependencies on that, in my opinion. If you're capturing that information within HubSpot, so you're using something like HubSpot's native calling, then yes, the duration, I think, could be an influence on the sales goal itself. If you're using an external hosted telephony provider or a calling solution, then it does depend on that information being captured and how it's stored within HubSpot. Great question. If you're comfortable, we can obviously come back to you with that and just maybe better understand how your calling is set up at the moment to provide more accurate guidance on that. Technically, yes, but it does depend on obviously how you're capturing that information in HubSpot at the moment.
Brilliant. Yeah, we'll get back to you, I guess, just to clarify on that. I think that's it. That's it for the sort of Q&A now. But now is your chance to win. So at the beginning, we put this competition in. Please put all your recommendations for our next hug topic into the chat panel now, and we will get back to the winner once the judges, the elf judges, have sat down and chosen the best one. But now's your chance to win. So please pop them into the chat panel now.
So I can't submit one.
You can't. No Fuelius employee can submit one.
It doesn't say anywhere on that slide. I'll just have you know.
I know, but I'm saying otherwise I'd win because I'm judging. £20 Amazon. Brilliant. I'll give you a couple more minutes to pop that in there.
So go on then. What would you have any suggestions of how
the WhatsApp integration? Let's go more into that. Let's just delve straight into have a whole hug
on the
WhatsApp
WhatsApp integration. Okay.
I know what yours would be now.
And you're our judge. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. By the way, I don't know if this has just been jiggling down the mic the whole time, or
in my ear as well.
Our video guy dad is saying yes, so that must be very annoying. Apologies.
Have we had any feedback on the costumes? Has it been of a positive nature? What is the general consensus on the costumes?
Hold up. Christina also said the WhatsApp integration would be top of her list as well.
Okay.
Oh, maybe she's just like knows I'm a judge, and she's like, if I say that, I'm gonna win.
Yeah,
I'm not really the judge. I see it. Okay, we've got quite a few ones in there. Thank you very much, guys. But we'll choose a winner and we'll reach out to you via email.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Very elfy, and they do jingle, as he said.
It is honestly too cold for this.
December.
My sleeves aren't long enough for me to have
it is
my
-4 in Chester today as well. And look, I got a jumper on underneath it. You've only got a t-shirt.
I am feeling it.
Right, that's it from us this year, but we will be back next year with our first hug being on the 9th of February at 11 a.m. Meg will put a link now to the landing page for you to sign up for this. And like I said, there will be the winner of the competition. It will be on that topic as well. Once we've chosen it, we'll reach out and let you know. But that's all from us. I hope everyone has a great festive holiday and gets in the Christmas spirit as us, dressed as elves.
Yeah, I tell you, and thank you very much for inviting me, Johnny. This has been a great delight, and I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. So thank you, everyone, for your comments, your suggestions. Yeah, it does make this far more enjoyable. So thank you.
Brilliant. It's been great having you, Ash. Debut done.
Hub.
Hug. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.